to tell you a story. It's a story about how one Buddhist came to learn the most important truth of Buddhism, what it means to let go of desire and hatred, to free ourselves from attachment and aversion, not just to things and experiences, but also to ideas and anything else we can desire or hate. So here's the story. Let's see what truth you can find in it. Years ago, the mother of one of my students, I'll call her Anita, converted to Buddhism. Raised in New Jersey as a Roman Catholic, she was drawn to Mahayana Buddhism by its core emphasis on compassion. She loved the injunction to seek the welfare of all sentient beings, animals as well as humans. The writings and teachings of the Vietnamese monk Thich Nhat Hanh were especially meaningful to Anita. So when she decided to go on a Buddhist pilgrimage, Vietnam seemed like a good choice. Anita was anxious to learn from people who had been Buddhists their whole lives, whose families had been Buddhists for many generations. She traveled with a tour company specializing in Buddhist pilgrimages. As they went from city to town to monastery, Anita was thrilled to experience the rich variety of forms Buddhism takes in Vietnam. One day, Anita found herself in a riverside town where market vendors were selling all kinds of live animals, birds, and fish. Seeing an opportunity to engage in the compassionate practice of liberating animals destined for slaughter, she eagerly approached a woman selling live eels, eels being a popular food in Vietnam. After buying as many eels as she and the others with her could carry, they brought them in plastic buckets to the bank of the river. They stated their intention. May these eels be free from suffering and the roots of suffering. May they enjoy happiness and the roots of happiness. May all sentient beings everywhere be free from suffering and the roots of suffering. May they enjoy happiness and the roots of happiness. As they dropped the eels into the river, Anita voiced a silent prayer for their well-being, and then turned away quite happy. The next day, Anita and the group took a day trip a short distance downstream. They ran across a young boy inspecting a set of traps set across the river. When she asked what he was trying to catch, the boy replied, "Eels." Alert to another chance to free animals destined for slaughter, Anita asked if he'd like to sell those he had caught so far. "I couldn't," said the boy. "I have to keep them for my mother. She sells them at the market upstream to people who want to let them go. She'd be upset if there are none here when she comes to pick them up." For a few seconds, Anita was overcome with confusion and anger and disappointment. Then she took a deep breath, and another, and then, suddenly, she smiled at the young boy. She looked out over the river for a few moments, said a quiet prayer for the well-being of the eels, and walked back to the tour bus. What do you think Anita came to understand in that moment before she smiled?